Yo, I got something to say. When I say you better listen up. My name is Frankly. I'm your host of I Got Something to Say. We got a special guest today with us, and it is NonPareil. Say what's up to
What's going on, people?
I'm saying what's up to you.
What's up, man?
How you feeling, man?
Good, man.
Good. We got El Marquis. He was here a couple weeks ago on our show. Super excited to have you too, man. What's up, man? How you feeling?
Pretty good, living life.
That's what's up. All right, so we got a few things we got to talk about. We're going to just dive right into this. You got a new project coming up very soon.
Yes, sir.
And I'm excited about that. I've been watching the Instagram stories and stuff like that, building up to this. And so I'm really excited to hear about what you got going on. So tell us what's going on. What's good?
Man, so it's a lot, man. Back in, we in album mode now, so album probably will be done Monday.
Let's get it.
Yeah,
right?
man. So just excited, man. The album's called Perception, and I don't know how we going about the interview, but pretty much I don't give you too much now. But we in album mode. The album's called Perception, and I'm pretty much just talking about the way I see things, from my perspective and my background, what I've seen coming up, where I see life going, and where I'm in now. So. Yeah.
Most stuff. So, tell real quick for my listeners, tell everybody who you are. Tell us a little about yourself, so that way we can actually go right into hearing more about your perception.
Yeah, cool, man. So, NonPareil, man. All of my music is inspirational, man. Like, I have strong belief in God, man. So my perspective is from that perspective, but also I've lived a lot of life, man. Like, I've lived in and out the church my whole life, so. My perspective is broad, but it's a very concentrated view when you hear the records. Yeah, man, so pretty much I grew up in Manassas, Northern Virginia, pretty much all of my life, man. And so I've seen a lot growing up, from the street, to the church, to going to college and, like, escaping things before it got crazy home. And so, man, just seeing all of that and trying to bring it into where I am now. And understanding, like, you learn from where you come from. You don't stay there. You don't repeat those things. You kind of just keep going and moving forward and trying to be a better person, and just keeping God first. That way, these things can happen and you can kind of stay focused. So that's where my perspective comes from.
Most stuff. So when it comes to music, I've seen one thing on your feed. I've seen that you work with different artists. So you've done some producing and stuff like that. Beats and stuff like that as well too.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. I haven't done as much beats for people. Mm-hmm. I've done a lot, for myself. Me and Marquis, we've done a lot of collaborations together. But I haven't done as much production that way as far as producing beats. But as far as, like, just artist development and trying to maximize the best out of people and their records, I love doing that, man. And I'm gonna get heavy into production this year, man. So.
Most definitely.
That's where we at, man.
So you mentioned El Marquis, he's in the building.
Yeah.
So you guys have been working together for I guess a couple of years now. Or how long?
Yes, sir.
3 years now.
Yeah.
And then shouts out to 87 Music Group, right?
Yes, sir.
You guys are working hard. What are all the artists that's on the label or the group?
Man, so Bro Vay, man, he's the leader of the pack, man. He's the dude is crazy, man. He's just. Rapper of all rappers, man. Anytime I say, I need a feature, he's the first thought that comes to my head. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
One of them on deck, right?
Right. I purposely don't call him for certain records just so he don't know my whole project, you know what I'm saying? But that's
it'll be his record. Man.
You know what I'm saying? He be on my whole project.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, so Bro Vay, he's the head artist, man. Me, man, on the production side, and now coming into the artistry, man, it's pretty much us as an artist, and then we got a lot of people working with us, man. Humdy doing management, Humdy savvy to production too. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of people, man. Dre, Drew. So, yeah, man, we just pretty much using all of our skills and different resources and kind of pulling them together to make things happen. So.
Most definitely. And you just dropped something too recently, right?
Yeah, I just dropped recently. I dropped a new spoken word track that's going to segue into where I'm going to take my music now. Just dropped this track. It's called Chapter 2. Mm-hmm. Nampi actually helped. He filmed the video for me, and then I edited it later, and I produced the track. Chapter 2, basically, with my last project, Introvert, I was calling that Chapter 1. That was the first full-length project that I put out, and I wrote most of it while I was in high school, and now so much has happened between high school and now I'm in college. So with my next full-length project, I just want to go and start talking about things that happened between college to now. So this is the first actually announcement of official announcement. The next project is going to be called The Story Continues. So that's where
exclusive. Yeah, you heard it
there
here.
You go.
Right?
I might drop some couple instrumental.
You already got the exclusive already. You already told us already. Look
Yeah.
at that. I feel privileged now.
Depending on when it actually comes out, I might drop a smaller project that doesn't have anything to do with it in between then, and maybe some instrumental projects as well. But the next full-length project is called The Story Continues.
It's the hardest working man in show business.
For real though, I've been watching that for like a year or two now. I'm like, man, this guy does not sleep at all. Like for real. And I heard about your name, so I saw you. Remember I told you at the concert. Mm-hmm. So they want to talk about El Marquez. I'm like, who is this guy? I'm thinking some old guy too. I was like, yo, is this kid? I remember him. I'm like, yo, all right, yeah. So I mean, that's dope though. You guys got it all in the group, and that's the move right there. That's I was thinking about like old artists. You know, you're a little bit. You know, we're around the same age. You think about back in the day. In Virginia now, we're talking about Pharrell and his crew,
God, yeah.
Timbaland, his crew.
Big influences, man.
Come on, like these artists came from Genuine. You got who came from that era? Genuine, Missy.
I mean, that area is crazy. Even the Clips.
The Clips. Yo, it was quite a few artists that came out of the Virginia, and like I feel like the move or something you can learn from that era is that. If you get a crew of people together and y'all all work together, it's a big move.
Yo, I've been talking about this for the past few years, man. It's like when you seeing what's going on in New York and how everybody work together. Once they stopped working together, you see New York fell off for a while, and Atlanta blew up. Everybody, producers, songwriters, rappers, singers, was all working in the same studios, all putting each other on different shows. They was doing the same thing we talking about with the whole fan cross-pollination thing, man. And it's crazy how those areas blow up. Now it's our time.
Yeah, it is.
Now it's our time.
And we need to work together.
Yeah.
When I found out about that crew, like real talk, they were talking about like Timbaland and Pharrell, like, and like it was like all this like a little bit like it's this little competitive thing, but behind closed doors it was like, yo, come over here, I need you to teach me about this right over here,
right.
Or collab me with on this one right here. Now that right there to me. Like when I heard about it, I was like, "Yo, for real?" Because they all were like booming. It was in our, Nerd in them, and then you got them. You know what I'm saying? They were killing it. Yo, that was a crazy moment at that time. But I learned from that. If we do work together, this is our time.
Yeah, that's it.
We can't do it separately. Our camps have to work together, and I promise you, it's our time. It's not now. It's not next. It's now.
Doing it
right now. This is our time. So, okay, project-wise, you're saying that, yo, this is the time right now. You're about to drop this Monday. This coming Monday.
I'm not dropping Monday, but the album will be complete on Monday.
Complete Monday, I got you.
Right.
And so the album's dropping very soon.
So we're looking at like the end of January to beginning of February. Album will be out, man.
That's what's up. I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right, so the process. Talk about the process through this album.
Man, so this process, man, it's crazy because like. I mean, I mentioned Bro A before. Like, I was always, like, behind the scenes with Bro A, you know what I'm saying, trying to help him. And then, like, people are like, man, like, start doing your own stuff, too, bro. Like, you can execute, too. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to just try some stuff out. So then, like, a couple years back, I started dropping. I did, like, probably like a month and a half, 2 months of just dropping something new on SoundCloud, like, every Friday. Every Friday, man, like, it got to the point where, like, when I didn't drop, people was like, yo, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? Where your project at? So, but I realized, yo, like, I can put together music fast, but I'm so particular in my head. Sometimes, like, I wanted to get as close to perfect. And that's kind of what's taking the album so long to come out, man. You know what I'm saying? Because of my producer side, like, I think like an artist, but really, I think like a producer, you know what I'm saying? So, I need people to be like, dude, hurry up.
Let's get it done. Yeah, so, okay. All right, so, okay, we talk about, so you've been working on this for a while. So, 2 things.
Yes.
One Love. Last year, I remember One Love and Manassas, music festival in Manassas. That set you all did was crazy. Yo, wow, it was crazy. That joint was live, yo. I watched the video just like a couple weeks ago, maybe. And that video was like yo, your guys were like, I was like, what is going on right now? That was the headline. No offense to the headliner. Sorry, man. But, like, yo, that took the cake. That took the cake. Y'all had so much, like, yo, it was crazy.
Man, appreciate you, man. One of the things about what I like to do live, like when I do live shows, is I hate to use rap tracks. Mm-hmm. Like, because I'm a musician too. I play keys, so, like, I really love the live band element, you know what I'm saying? And so every time I do a show like that, I gotta have my band, you know what I'm saying? I gotta have the crew with me. I need the background singers, man. My man Chuck, you know, hyping me up on the side, man. That type of stuff. I need that energy. That takes me to another level, you know what I'm saying? So tracks are cool, but the live band, man,
take it to another level. That shit lame, bro. I was like, yo, yo, I was like, yo, this is crazy, man. That was dope, man. That's a good feel. So, with that being said, like One Love, the album. Influences. Who are the influences like when it comes to music? Like, yo, I have this influence. These are it. Who are they?
Man, different influences for different reasons. You know, of course, like, you know, Jay. I grew up on Jay. You know, New York roots. So Jay is just, I can relate. I feel like I relate to him, the way he articulates stuff. Ye, just because I love the way he puts together sounds and mix stuff that don't really it should go together. Mm-hmm. And you got Anderson .Paak as far as like sound. Mm-hmm. Like Anderson .Paak's sound, crazy. Like he's my favorite artist to listen to.
Yeah.
And his live sets are ridiculous. Mm-hmm. You know, so people like that, you know, and I like a whole lot of R&B, different influences, man. But anybody who does a little bit of melody with a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, Bryson Tiller's dope, Drake's dope. You know what I'm saying? But I think what I do is a little different than that. But yeah.
Cool. So you would say, like, I'm not saying compare yourself, but like you're in that lane of all, like pretty much look all of those a little bit.
Pretty much like melody rap. That's cool. Like, if you want to put me in a lane, that would be where I'm at. Yeah.
Sweet though. Yeah, you gotta stay in your lane and the influence is the reason why I asked about influence because everybody has some type of influence when it comes down to music, and you know sometimes you create, and I think that everybody gets into a creative stage where you find your voice, you find your lane. Like, this is who I am, you know. Like, I like what you guys are doing. No, you know, you gotta, you know, you respect music, but this is my lane, and this is where I'm going to stay. Right. And so I always like to ask people like, what's your lane? Like, who are your influences coming up? Who are your influences right now?
Well, it's crazy because that takes time too, right? Like when I first started writing, I was putting stuff out every week, but everything sounded different because I was experimenting. Like, okay, like I can do this, but where am I comfortable? Like, where do I connect the most with the fans that they can relate to me? I can still get my message across, right? So when you create that, okay, I know what my sound is, and I feel like the Like That Right Now record kind of helped me see this is where my target is right here. This is the bread and butter, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it takes time to develop your sound, man. Once you get it, you got to stay there.
You do. So that's cool. So I guess I ask you, like, what, you know, on the camera right now, like, what's your influences?
For my own music, for when I rap, my biggest influences in terms of technique are Eminem and Tech Nine. M was actually the first rapper I ever got into ever. So early on, I was like listening to him heavy. Tech Nine was the first, not the first, but one of the first underground artists I got into. I got into underground music through him and this other guy, Dave Storm, who now he just does like social media stuff. Every now and then he puts out records. But early on, I was kind of into mainstream music, just kind of listening to M and Lil Wayne, and just like listening to them heavy on. And then when I heard Tech Nine, I got into the underground music. And for up until a couple of years ago, I used to hate mainstream music just because it was popular. But now I'm getting into it just because I'm older and more mature. But with M and Tech, I just love how they put words together. I love that they tell their story and just how emotional they are in the music and how open and honest they are. So that's what I like to apply to my own music. And just how I actually write stuff too. Lecrae and Andy Mineo and Bizzle and Cross Movement are big influence on how I approach records actually, because I do consider myself a Christian artist. I don't necessarily only make music for Christians, but the way I write lyrics, basically, I like to not only I like having some songs that worship God and praise God explicitly, but then also I like talking about life and how you actually can apply your faith to life, and that's what I feel like McCray and Andy Mineo do. Like, not all the songs are necessarily praise and worship songs, but they go into real life and they talk about how they move through life with their faith. And then Cross Movement is an older group for CHH, and they're more so explicitly about preaching the gospel and stuff like that. And I like doing that as well. I like combining both instead of just picking one side or the other. And then with production, I don't have necessarily one or two producers that really influence my sound, but I just listen to so much music from all different genres of music. I was on rock music before I was even into hip hop actually. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to production, I just all my influences from rock. My favorite bands are Smashing Pumpkins, Blink-182, Killswitch Engage, which is a metal band, Flyleaf, bands like that. And I incorporate that even when I'm doing hip hop stuff. I play on my own records. I play a lot of guitar on my records. Mm-hmm. I listen to a whole lot of EDM. One producer I would say influences my sound a lot is actually this guy named San Holo. He does a variety of different styles of music, but his main thing is like future bass and EDM trap. And what I love about him is that he plays the guitar on a lot of his records as well, and he combines just EDM with rock, and it's amazing. And EDM's another maybe not as much as an artist, but I like producing EDM beats as well. Mm-hmm. So I just whole lot of influences. Then when I work on my own stuff, I find my own sound for my own records that I can stick with. But then when I work on other people's records, I actually like to listen to their influences and then not copy and paste what they do, but I'll take some of what they do, some of what I do, and then mesh them together. That's actually what I love working with NonPareil and Brove, because they introduced me to other music that I didn't grow up listening to, mm-hmm. and I've listened to that, and then I hear where they take their records as artists. I apply some of that stuff to when I'm writing my own records, and then also when I'm actually making tracks for them and engineering for them. I hear the type of music they listen to, and then I just combine it with the stuff I know, and then help them make art that way. So
that's what's up. That's important, especially when you in a crew of people. You want to be sure that you're open. I think when you're making music, you got to be open. I think you need to respect music, period. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm big on that. I'm big on that.
Art is crazy, right? Mm-hmm. And then with music, man, I don't understand how you can only listen to one genre of music. Mm-hmm. I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? I barely listen to rap. Mm-hmm. I don't listen to that much rap. You know what I'm saying? I got select artists I listen to, Cole and people like that, but I don't listen to rap like that. I like to hear old school music or R&B stuff or even gospel. I love gospel. That's my favorite genre, just because it's so much with gospel. It's a broad, area. That's just how hip hop is to me. Hip hop is so broad. It's not really a certain sound anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. So you gotta have different influences for sure.
Most definitely. So what do y'all like to do for fun? That was good. What do y'all like to do for fun? I think you gotta be, you do more than just music.
For sure.
What we do? What do we like to do for fun?
Shoot, man. I used to play basketball a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Same here.
I love basketball, man. I play basketball through 2K. That's how I get mine off now. You know what I'm saying? I say that in one of my lines on the album. I say we could go to 2K to balance out my Nintendo. I gotta play 2K at least once a week. Yeah. No matter dude, I just got an Xbox last week. I was playing 2K all year last year. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I make trips to Nancy just to play 2K. Yeah. So stuff like that. I like to stay healthy in the gym as much as I can. Trying to get back there. Man, I fell off. But, so just little stuff, like that. I like to laugh, man.
Yeah, laughing is fun.
Yeah.
Laughing is good, always.
Yeah.
I love laughing too. What you got going on?
And when I'm not working on music or doing anything with college or work, I like hanging out with my siblings. I have a sister and a stepbrother that live with me. I have another stepsister actually in the Dominican Republic that I haven't met in person yet. But I like hanging out with them because they're my best friends. My saying is God over everything, family over everything else. And I love hanging out with my siblings. I have so much fun just hanging out with them, just acting silly with them.
How old are you?
21.
He got a saying already?
I know, son.
Yo, tagline.
Dude, when I was 21, I was just like, I'm 20, I'm living life right now, man. I don't care, man. God, I love you.
Tagline.
Family, y'all like.
Yeah,
You know, it's crazy though too, since you went on the whole family thing, because I'm an only child, right? So like with no siblings, I don't have that understanding of like what it's like to say, oh, family over everything, right? Like, yeah, my parents are cool, you know, my cousins are cool. But it's different when you had that immediate family because y'all have different experiences. Y'all live in the same household. Y'all came up together. Y'all understand each other a little different. So for me, people are like, yo, how can you just like have time? You just chill. You can just be by yourself all the time. I'm like, I've been doing it my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love people. I love to be around people. I love to be social. But I can easily like chill out, go home, relax. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm good. You know, get mine off, come back, regroup.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of different. I mean, I grew up with, you know, I have a brother and a sister, but also have like fam, like adopted into our family. That's how our family is. And so, you know, I'm used to like, I'm used to people. I'm a people person. So tucking away a lot of times for me, honestly, yo, is great. You know.
Right.
Then it's also like, yo, what is going on right now?
Yeah.
It's way too quiet right now.
Yeah.
But you know, it's kind of cool to see the perspective. You know, going back to your album from that perspective too, because that's actually a life. That's like something that you're not used to. Like a lot of people around, but you a people person. I can tell.
Right. Yeah.
But then it's like, yo, like, it's okay. I'm good by myself. I
Yeah.
can take a car ride by myself, and I'm perfectly fine.
Dude, that's the dude. A car ride by yourself is probably the best time of my life. Right, like I can drive in the car, be in traffic, and be fine. You know, it is what it is. That's my time away from everything else. You know, because I mean, like I said, I love people, so people are always around, even at my house, man. Like people come by, you know, unexpected, whatever. You know, so all the time it just happens like that. But it's cool. But when people leave, I'm like, oh, now I'm back in my element. You know what I'm saying? Because when people are around, there's always a piece of you that you can't tap into.
Right.
Like, you know, because you always want to be able to relate to people, right? You know, which part of like perception is like, okay, like a lot of it you will relate to just because I see the world, like as an only child, like you see the world differently. Because you can kind of learn from everybody, and it's not like, oh, like we do it like this in my family. So no, like I'm gonna learn from you. I'm gonna learn from the Middle Eastern guy down the street. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna learn from the white guy at work. I'm gonna learn from the black lady down at the shop. You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning from everybody everywhere I go, man. Like working at DMV, I learned a lot about just the different cultures, and like everybody's different, but we all are the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is why, you know, I don't believe in grouping people like that, man. Like we're all one, man. We're all children of God. So.
Man, that's good. Man, you said a whole lot right there. I can go into a whole other conversation, especially a group of people, because, you know, with the climate that we live in right now, the racial tension that we live right now is crazy. We're close to D.C., so, you know, we're in Virginia. Charlottesville happened like a year or so ago.
Wow.
You know, but we're in this spot, in this place that I think, this is what I believe, and in my shirt I have 180 Culture. This is the brand. Culture, for the culture, we have a responsibility to create and then also build, you know, for the culture. One of the things I hate is that when I hear like older artists or older people say, "Oh, this next generation, they're the next leader. We're going to be doomed." I'm like, no, it's our responsibility to take care of the generation behind us.
Right.
Like we have to be like making sure, like he's 21 right now. We got to make sure he has everything he needs so he can stand on our shoulders, or anyone behind him stand on our shoulders, because it's if like Tekashi 6ix9ine, like yo, like. You see who he is. Like, we should be like, yo, hello, bro, come here. Like, like to me, and I'm quite sure people did, and you know, he still does what he does. But the big bro should have been like, yo, we coming to you right now. We gonna shut this down. Everybody get out the room. We gonna talk to him.
Right.
And let him know what's up, because that's our responsibility.
You know what's crazy is like talking across. You know, like talking across, right? Like different age groups, you learn different things, right? Like working, I worked with actually at Chapel Spring, man. Me and Zoe, like I was on their youth staff, a part of them, and learning a lot about what they went through was different. Like peer pressure for us was okay. Our friends or like people on the basketball team saying, "Hey, yo, we gonna go drink or we gonna go do this or whatever," and you underage, like okay. what are you doing at 15? You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to them, their peer pressure, they just open up their phone and they pressure. Right? They have Instagram, they have Twitter, all these influences coming at 100 miles an hour. How do you respond to that? People crying, going home crying because their friend got 2,000 likes in the pic and they got 6. And so you dealing with that. We didn't have that. You know, our perspective is different. So how can you judge that person for being in the corner and not talking when they have a whole different arena? They're not social because they scared now. If only 6 people like my pic and 2,000 like them, I feel like less of a person now. You know what I'm saying? And so it's crazy learning those different things from different age groups. You can kind of understand, kind of be able to support them and help them in different ways that maybe their friends can't. So, yeah.
What you feel about that?
Man, I loved growing up in the youth group. I was there. It's called The Source at Chapel Springs. That gave me my I won't say it gave me my foundation for my faith, but it helped me a lot with my walk. Just being around other people my age who all were just passionate about loving Christ. To be honest, I didn't socialize as much as I probably should have back when I was in the youth group, but I did participate in their fine arts program there. And that helped me develop my talent even more. It helped me do things that were uncomfortable with my art. Because I was in human video, and that helped me just be more expressive with my face and like body movements and stuff. It helped me work with other people. And I just loved being around people who were just passionate about Christ. So that was a big foundation of even to where I am now.
Awesome. Yeah. We're in a place where I feel like we need more people creating and not shying back from the culture in our community. This is why your project's important. It plays a piece. You know, that piece of the puzzle is necessary, and if it's not done, I truly feel like if we don't, put our piece on the table into the puzzle, then that hole is going to be missed. It's going to be like, that's a big gap. It's a real big gap. The baton has to be passed on. The baton can't be, just left, or just drop. Because if you drop it, it can cause someone, their life or whatever. It's legit. Like this is real deal. And so, I commend you for, just dropping this project and continue to be present. Like, that's another thing, us being present.
It's crazy when you say that. When you were talking about the present, I was thinking about the project, right? And I thought about the opening line of the whole project, right? Mm-hmm. So the first track is called Perceptions. And I say, questions, I got questions, all this constant disrespecting, systematically oppressing, sending kids in a new direction, hardly home, but always repping. Like, just because you don't see me don't mean, like, you're not in my heart. I'm not thinking about you. I'm not figuring out, like, how can I give back? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to tuck away to really understand how you can truly impact where you're targeted.
Yeah, that's good.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you're, like, in the middle of everything, you get lost and, like, okay, they doing this, I'm doing this, they doing this. But, like, am I truly being effective as much as I could be? Am I being overwhelmed by different influences to where I can't tuck away and say, you know what, this is what they need right now from me. This is how I can maximize how I give back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you take things in the world and you talk to different people that are going through different things. You're like, yo, people dealing with a lot of stuff, man. Mentally, like, this is like the worst mental climate I think we've seen.
So many people going through depression and anxiety. It's like everyone is, and you're not going through depression and anxiety. Like, there's something wrong with you.
Right. It's crazy. I mean, because there's so many factors that can affect you, right? From finances to relationships to anything, man. Like, things affect us differently now because life is at a faster pace than it used to be 10 years ago. Yeah. Right? When you was in high school, that's a whole different life than when Zoe was in high school.
Yeah, you're right.
And he's 21, so imagine the 14-year-old. It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
It is crazy. Yeah, we have some work to do, and in creating presence, like you said, just even tucking, like you said, tucking away. That's so for 1 year. I've been like going full throttle for like over 12 years now, and just for a year, kind of like sitting back. Sometimes you think you know what they need. You know what I'm saying? Like, like we do. We like, yo, this is what they. But honestly, sometimes it's when you tuck away, you can see what is needed. What is needed. Like, yo, you can see. All right, it's like when you have kids. I got 4 kids. You don't have any kids, right?
Nah.
No kids.
No.
So like, I talk from a father's standpoint.
Yeah.
Like each kid, you got some kids right there. So like,
Yeah.
you know, when I look at my four kids all need something different. None of them have like, it's not like all of them. I got 2 daughters, 2 sons, but everybody I have to handle them different. And so it'd be stupid if I come in like everybody's going to get this right here. No, that doesn't fit. That doesn't work.
Wow.
Like I gotta treat it all different. I gotta sometimes step away and listen to my daughter or listen to my son and see how. And I said, okay, sweet, let's do it.
I mean, the key of what you just said was listen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people like to help without even knowing what they need to help.
Come on, that's right.
Right? So like somebody can come to you and like they don't have no clothes on, right? So you want to give them food, but they probably hungry, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't hear them say, "Yo, I'd rather have food than some clothes right now," how you know? You know what I'm saying? So you can't just like sit back and like, oh, they need this, let me go here. Like, no, you sit back and you have a conversation with them and talk to them. Like, one thing about working with youth group was that everybody has different issues, right? So you can't have this mass of, okay, I'm going to address all the youth like this. I think that's where like a lot of the church misses it, to be honest. And I still go to church. I believe in God, like all that. But like I think that sometimes some segments miss it because you try to group people based on age, and you can't always do that either. You got to really hear people talk. You got to give people space to really voice their opinion and talk less sometimes. And that's something that I'm learning. Because I can like, oh, I know what you need. Let me go ahead. Like, nah, sometimes you just got to hear and listen. Because you don't truly understand somebody's perspective until you listen to them. So.
Exactly. Man, I can go on. I'll say this. So the whole thing at Johnny's, what I found out, because I've always been like trying to be mad and active in the community, working with the church, working in the church for years. We would say they need this, and the thing is that if you're not present, if you're not actively in the community, you can't rightfully so say that you know what they need. The crazy thing is, and I'll talk some Bible real quick. Jesus left heaven to come to earth to be with the people.
Right.
Point.
Right, and I am God, right? So, like, but I still got to see how I can relate. I still don't really understand because I'm not human. I'm not in that form. You know, isn't that crazy how, like, that example, like, Paul said, I became something to all, right? Or I became something to all. Yeah. All things to some, that's scripture. And it's crazy because, like, how can I understand you if I haven't been there? Which is why I feel privileged and blessed to have an album called Perception, because I've seen a lot, right? I see things from different angles. It's like the dichotomy of man. That's kind of like where my name NonPareil comes from. Like, you can't compare me to this next person because some Christians won't see me as a Christian because I go so deep into content, right? So like every song that I hit, I go into that. I'm not trying to help you see the happy ending in every song. Right? Some songs got to fully hit certain things. So that's where you got to listen to the whole album to hear, okay, this is the man going through different situations. He's here right now. He's here right now. Okay, the last song is Still Love Me. Regardless of what I go through, regardless of like where I'm at, God still was there the whole time. You didn't get to the end until, oh, okay, I realized, I'm just thinking I found a genie in a bottle. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the line. Yeah. I had to drink something. I had to be addicted to something in order to relate to the person who's still an alcoholic. How can I truly help him get to where he is if I ain't been there? Not that you got to go through everything to meet everybody. But some people will only hear from people that they know has been through it.
This is true. Yeah. All things, all men. You're right. I think one of the craziest things that we all relate to is what I found out over 9 months now. The one thing we are with everyone, I don't care who you are, we all respond to love. We all respond to love. I don't care who you are. And the thing is that when we don't give out love or receive love, it messes up our perception. Oh yeah. Yeah, so we got to get to the core thing. The core thing that really, really changes people's lives is that if you love them and show them love. And I think that we have to all grow in that. I've grown in that for the last 9 months. Like I said, loving everybody. I don't really care. I love you past your fault. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't if you get what you receive, if you don't love people past their fault, then they're not gonna love you past your fault.
If you don't love past somebody's fault, you don't love.
That's good.
That's not real love. I can't love you conditionally. I can't. That's not true. Like, you cannot like some people. You can go through a bout with your best friend and still love them. If they go to the hospital, you still going to check on them. You understand what I'm saying? So like, that's true love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. True love. We got to do this. I know that's like a little deep right there, but like real talk, like that's real, like real deal. I'm telling you, man. The more and more people I meet, I've met billionaires. I've met millionaires and people in the streets and whatever. I'm telling you, I sit down with a business owner who he long story short, I'm not gonna go into it. He committed suicide. And the letter he wrote was he felt that his family didn't love him. He said he found out toward the end of his retirement, he had all this money to people to trips, all this stuff like that. This is what he wrote in the letter. And he added me in the letter. He befriended me at the end of his life because he said, you love me and it wasn't about my money. Yo, that hit home. Like, that's a real story. For real story. I sit in his mansion. His mansion is about big as this whole apartment building put together. Like, yo, this dude's had money. He rented islands and took his whole company to an island. Legit money. He said it was love. He said love was the one thing that I did not feel because I had money, but I didn't have that love. And he committed suicide because of that.
Well, you know what's crazy about that, right? Is like you can be on a path, and you're going on this path, right? But you have to move a certain way to get there. So maybe like you can't communicate with your friends as often as you would like to, right? There's a disconnect. So you may think like Zoe he just focusing on beats every day. So if he don't respond to my text, if I'm his true friend, I should know. You know what? He's probably working on beats. I can't get so upset that he didn't answer my text. You know what I'm saying? Because him working on beats could help provide for me later. You know what I'm saying? So like you really gotta like try to understand where people are at without your own selfish ambition, which is tough for us as humans, right? Like we're used to, okay, what can I get out of this? That's business. That's business. That's what you do in business. But when it comes to like true organic human nature, like it can't be all about give and take. I should be able to give you $1 and not expect it back.
That's good stuff.
I don't know how we got there, but
Yo, it's like it's real. You know, like I don't care. I mean, honestly, you're dealing with people, and you can't go through life without people, and relationships matter. And with that being said, thank you for being on the show. But this whole podcast is about you, and I think this is really kind of showing the core of your heart, and really kind of like letting people know more about you. At least my fans, people listen to it. Understanding like you're a real person. Like you're a person. You putting your heart into this project, and you want to be sure that people connect with you on a level where they stay with you, not just like one time listen to, which I think this generation, this culture that we're in right now,
it is a one
like,
time
just like boom, boom, boom. But
one stream, and okay, exactly. I heard you.
Yo. My hope, my prayer for you is that people are like, yo, I gotta add this to my play, like the whole album to my playlist, like the Jay-Z Jammy Unplugged, which I was listening to earlier. Just putting it in my playlist. Like I push play, I gotta bring this. I gotta make sure I have this NonPareil all the time, and just in the playlist and in the rotation. That's my prayer. Like let's make music like that. I know that's not like whatever like what's going on right now, but who cares? Like let's make music like that. I hope that and pray that this is that album that people say I gotta have this in rotation for a lifetime.
I received that one, man. I mean, that's what we aiming to. That's what it's about. And I feel like the album touches on so many different subjects and so many different sounds that there's something for everybody on the project, if not the whole thing.
Good. Plans, what's moving forward? You gonna put another album out? You gonna do some tours? Is your hope to do some shows? What are you gonna do? Man,
so this year is all about staying in people's faces, right? Last year was tugging away, let's get that album out, let's work on that. This year is all about, I'm staying in your face. Like, I want you to be tired of me this year. Like, I want you to stop seeing me doing a show. I want you to, like, stop seeing, like, yo, this dude's doing too much. Like, that's what this year is about, you know what I'm saying? Like, the music's out here, we're going to continue to make music. and we're gonna make it freely now because now I can just drop a single whenever because the album's on my mind, right? So like it's all about pretty much touring, setting up tours. 87 we're gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Like doing more collabs, working with people, and just being out there, man. I think I understand what I can bring to the art. Now people gotta know.
What's up? Yeah. I'm excited. 2019, we're taking it. Yeah. I'm letting everyone know. NonPareil, his crew, 87 Music, El Marquis, we all gonna take it. We going for everything, not just the back, but the influence
for sure,
the culture.
Sure. That's
I think this we gotta put out put it out there. I do not say that lightly. I really feel like we about to take this. Like, it's ours for the taking.
Right.
And if you're there and you don't want to let us come in, your seat might be taken.
Right.
We're gonna take your seat. We're gonna take your seat. But if you allow us to come in and let us have a seat at the table, I promise you the culture is gonna be a whole lot better with you and you there. That's my phone. But again, thank you so much for being on the show. If you guys do me a favor on the podcast, share and like this podcast. Definitely follow NonPareil and our Marquis. NonPareil, tell everybody how they can find you.
You can find me, I barely tweet, but on IG, non-P-music _. You'll find me there. That's where most of my stuff, you can find me there. There's a webpage coming up too, so find that.
Sweet.
My website is www.lmarquismusic.com. You can find all my music and all my beats there. You can follow me on Twitter at lmarquis, LMARQUEE. Instagram L_Marquis, and then Facebook.com/LMarquisProductions.
Yo, first of all, this is why we gotta listen to the young people, right? This man put me on so much stuff when it comes to social media and how to work this and how to do this, right? And he got all these different things. This dude got websites. He probably got 2 websites, a beat store.
Yeah.
I'm over here on IG, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be like you one day. So.
Come on, just trying to be like that. That's what we're trying to do. Put us in the game. Put us in the game, man. Put us in the game. Please do. And if you guys follow me, you follow his IG, you'll see more of my stuff. But thank you guys so much for being on the show.
Appreciate that.
This won't be no problem. It won't be the last time. We'll do more. And actually, I'm trying to get 87 on here. Like, let's get the whole 87 crew on it.
The crew's crazy. Let's
go crazy. Let's just do music next time on the podcast.
We'll do music and we'll have a good time because everybody's wild. Everybody's wild.
I like that. I like to get wild too.
Yeah. This time we're kind of deep. Next time I don't want to be so deep. Man.
Yeah, no. Let's not. Let's have a good time. This how it happened. But thank you guys again. This is I Got Something to Say, and I'm your host Frank Lee, and I'm with El Marquis and NonPareil.
Yes, sir.
NonPareil's project's coming out very soon, and I want you guys to go pick it up. Thank you guys so much for listening up. I'll holla. Peace.
Peace.